Hi, and welcome to the first installment of Unrequited Love Stories. On this series, I share stories of viewers, much like yourself, that sent in stories of love lost. I tell their stories in a way that honors them, their love, and hopefully these stories teaches us about empathy, about how we can care about what's happening in the lives of people we don't know, and maybe in the lives of people we do. This story comes in from a viewer of mine from TikTok, and she's telling the story of a man that she met while separated and how she both loved and lost. I hope you enjoy the story. I grew up watching my father adore my mother. His eyes burned with desire, like she was the sun. I thought that's how love should feel. But my own marriage, it was quieter, stable, respectful. We had 6 kids, a home full of bedtime stories and soccer games. My husband was a good father, present and kind. But passion, desire, I didn't even know if I wanted those things anymore. For years, sex felt like an obligation. Was I broken, asexual, or had 20 years of routine numbed me? I didn't know. I just knew I'd never lived alone, never paid a bill, fixed a leak, or even chose a couch without someone else's opinion. So after 2 decades, I asked for a separation. Not for another man, for me. Starting over at 40-something was terrifying, but it was the first time I felt awake. Then came James. Not handsome, not my type, bald, a little rough around the edges, but safe. We talked for hours about reggae, being separated, raising kids, no flirtation, no games, just ease. The first time we danced, no grinding, no ulterior motives, just joy. He was from the Caribbean, and he moved like rhythm was in his bones. We became friends. He'd cook at his place. I'd bring wine. We talked about our exes, our regrets, our kids. But then, one night he touched my leg, just a brush of his fingers, and God did my body a night. I hadn't felt that in 20 years. I froze. Was this arousal? Panic set in. What's happening? After that touch, everything shifted. The unattractive man became magnetic. His voice, his mind, the way he saw me, not the mom, the wife, me. The woman who hated small talk, loved bad puns, who'd forgotten how to flirt. He'd finish my sentences, anticipate my needs. Once I joked, "How do you even know I want water right now?" He said, "Because you always bite your lip when you're thirsty." No one had ever noticed that. And the sex? I didn't know my body could feel like that. He worshipped every stretch mark, every curve, called me art. For the first time, I felt desired and loved. Not just lust, like I was home in his arms. But here's the truth. Love isn't enough when fear gets a vote. My husband wanted to reconcile. Stability, safety, a life I knew. James was ready to divorce his wife, to choose me fully. But I couldn't trust it. What if he changed his mind? What if this perfect love was a trick? So I did the practical thing. I broke both of our hearts. I wrote James a letter. I'm choosing safety. I'm sorry. He cried. I cried, but I walked away. For 4 years, I wondered, was I weak or wise? My husband and I never reconciled. We're roommates. co-parents. But James, he's in every reggae song, every jerk spice smell, every joke I make that no one laughs at. I went to an astrologer last year. Didn't mention James. She took one look at my chart and said, "You met your twin flame. He cracked you open and you ran." Twin flames aren't about happy endings. They're about burning old versions of yourself to ash. I don't know if I'll ever see him again, but I think about him every day. Was he the one, or just the one who showed me I deserved more? I'll never know. All I have is this regret and this hope that maybe, somehow, our paths aren't done crossing. If you're out there, James, I'm sorry. And if you're watching this, have you ever walked away from someone you felt was like oxygen? Someone who saw you? Tell me in the comments. Maybe we can heal together.